Okay. Now, let me formally welcome everyone to the Democratizing Our Data Challenge Round 3 information session. My name is Didem Tüzemen. I'm a VP of Product and Development with Coleridge Initiative. Okay. Today, I'm going to be providing you a broad overview of the goals and structure of the Democratizing Our Data Challenge, also known as the DDC. I'm going to walk you through how to apply for round 3, starting with our letter of intent application and conclude with a timeline. You will see that some resources have been placed in the chat, including the DDC website, which contains the LOI application for download and our email for your questions. This session is being recorded and it will be available on our website shortly after this presentation. While I'm talking, please feel free to place any questions in the Q&A feature on Zoom. Our team will answer these in the chat, or we will answer live at the end of the session. All right. To get started, let me talk briefly about the Coleridge Initiative and what we are trying to accomplish with the DDC. The Coleridge Initiative is a nonprofit organization working with governments to ensure that data are more effectively used for public decision-making. We do this both by providing a platform to securely link confidential data within and across states and agencies, and by providing data literacy training to agency staff. Our platform is the Administrative Data Research Facility, or the ADRF. The ADRF is a secure, FedRAMP authorized, cloud-based environment that enables government agencies to link their longitudinal data with data from other states and agencies. We train state and federal partners to use the ADRF through the Applied Data Analytics Trainings, or ADAs. These ADA programs are modular, project-based trainings that allow agency staff to work hands-on with their own data. These programs train agency staff to use modern data analysis methods to answer real-world questions and develop open source tools that can be used after training ends to improve decision-making. The approach to our work emphasizes value, communities, and practice. We create value by securely linking administrative data within and across state lines. We build new communities from new data assets, and we move from projects to products to practice from careful use of data. And we see the Democratizing Our Data Challenge as a direct extension of our mission. So what is the goal of the DDC? The challenge is designed to leverage state government administrative data to answer questions that are of direct interest to states. The challenge aims to develop and scale innovative product ideas for understanding public policy and programs by using government administrative data that are securely hosted in the ADRF. We aim to transform the secure and safe use of data and evidence to inform policy in a fast-changing world. DCC projects develop, build upon, and scale innovative data products. Of course, this would not have been possible without our Round 1 and Round 2 DDC funders. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Ascendium Education Group, the Walton Family Foundation, and the Overdeck Family Foundation. We want to thank our funders for seeing the needs and value of this program and for providing the support to allow us to execute this vision. You've had great success with this challenge to date. In the first 2 rounds, we have awarded 12 teams across 11 states, representing over 30 agencies and institutions. DDC projects span a wide variety of themes and domains, including transitions in education to workforce, value of credentials in the workforce, unemployment to reemployment, building better understanding and use of K-12 data, the teacher workforce, employment outcomes for micro-pathway participants, and community college outcomes. I would like to note that while these are the major domains of awarded teams to date, we are very interested in projects focused on other domains. This includes, for example, projects that leverage incarceration or public health outcomes data. As mentioned previously, DDC projects develop, build upon, and scale innovative data products, including dashboards, portals, data models, new applications, and more. Now, moving to eligibility. A range of organizations are able to apply. State agencies, post-secondary institutions, nonprofits with data and research capabilities, and mission-aligned for-profit organizations. Successful teams will feature cross-organization collaboration. Please note that there are two key requirements for DDC projects. The first one is all teams must utilize state data. And then the second one is that the data must be hosted in the ADRF. It is okay if the data are not currently hosted in the ADRF, but please note that it must be brought in and hosted at the ADRF during your project. Now let me move to talk about some high interest areas for the challenge. These include target populations. You will want to think about how to frame your project to reach populations such as low-income learners and workers, at-risk youth, underrepresented minorities, immigrants, and formerly incarcerated. Education to workforce outcomes. Previous DDC projects have focused on various aspects of education to workforce outcomes, such as post-secondary to labor market transitions, unemployment to reemployment patterns, and credentials. But as mentioned, we are accepting applications from other domains as well. And feasibility studies, projects that are developing new approaches to things like aligning data systems that have not been aligned, such as creating linkages on K-12, post-secondary, and workforce pipeline. There is flexibility in the scale of projects eligible for the DDC. There are 3 funding tiers to acknowledge that different types of projects are going to require different levels of investment. Tier 1 funds projects up to $15,000. Projects in this tier could be projects that are already in development and would take a final investment to be implemented. Tier 2 funds projects up to $300,000. Projects in this tier could be taking ideas proven in one state and enhancing, expanding, and extending with other states. Tier 3 funds projects up to $500,000. Projects in this tier could be expanding the integration of data across multiple agencies and states to create new data assets. If you need assistance figuring out which tier best aligns with your project, please reach out to us. What are the elements of a successful project proposal? A major theme for Coleridge and the challenge as a whole is an emphasis on cross-organization collaboration. There's a unique opportunity here for relationship building. So think about and explain in your LOI how your project will foster collaboration among state agencies and organizations. Projects must utilize state data. These data are used to develop, build upon, and scale innovative data products. Finally, another major effort with the DDC is to fund projects that will have a lasting impact. How will your effort be sustainable? How will it be scalable? How will it be able to be used by other agencies and states? You'll want to ensure that this information is built in the framing of your LOI. Now let's get into the actual steps of application. So the first stage is submitting a letter of intent or LOI. The LOI template can be downloaded from our DDC webpage under the application heading. We have just placed this link in the chat again. The completed LOI template must be submitted to datachallenge@coleridgeinitiative.org by 5 p.m. Pacific time on November 1st. Now let's take a look at the LOI templates and walk through it. The first section of the template asks for basic information about your project: its title, domain, award tier, estimated funding required, and proposed start and end dates. Please note the start date should be after May 2025, as that is when Round 3 awards will be announced. The next section collects information on your research team that you will be collaborating with. After that, the executive summary section asks you to provide a summary of the project's goal, the motivation for this work, the expected outputs and end product, and the data and analysis required to achieve the project's goal. This section is 500 words maximum. Following that, you will write a brief project narrative, which offers you the opportunity to expand on the executive summary. This section is 1,000 words maximum. You will need to speak to a few specific areas, which includes a statement of the problem, project outputs and outcomes, how your project incorporates the DDC's areas of interest, the project rationale, and the expected impact of the project. The last section of the application is the project data section. You will be required to briefly describe the data required for this project's execution. For each data set you plan to use for the project, you will need to answer the dataset source, a description of the data, whether the project team includes the data owner, whether the team currently have access to the data, and whether the data are already hosted in the ADRF. Now, moving to the timeline. The DDC application is broken into 2 stages, the LOI and final proposal. The call for LOIs is currently open. They are due by 5 p.m. Pacific time on November 1st. The LOIs will be reviewed by a selection committee who will identify a set of finalists to develop final proposals. Your team will be contacted regarding its final status on January 10, 2025. Between January and March, finalist teams will prepare their final proposals. Coleridge will work with finalists to refine the ideas outlined in their LOIs. Final proposals are due on March 14, 2025. And we plan to announce Round 3 awardees in May 2025.